Hello everyone, my name is Karen Gula and I'm the instructor for Math 055 1 and 3 at Pikes Peak Community College for the fall of 2015. Because this is an online class, I wanted to give you a discovery tour video so you can see how to maneuver through our class. This is the Pikes Peak Community Online Campus homepage. Now I will be referring to this as D2L. And that's because this is powered by Desire to Learn. So whenever I say D2L, this is the part of the class I'm talking about. I wanted to help you maneuver through this section, so I've highlighted some things that you'll need to be able to see. If you look at the gray bar there that I have a series of red arrows pointing to, we'll look at that first. To the left it says Course Home. And if you ever want to get back to the home page, that's where you're going to click, and we are at the home page right now, so that's what it would look like. Okay, the next button there is Content. We won't be using that in this class. All of our content is going to be on the MyMathLab Plus page, so we don't need it here. The third button though is Discussions. That's where we'll be doing all of our graded discussions, so that's where you want to access them. The next two buttons are Dropbox and Quizzes. We won't be using those in this class. Again, the content part of the class is going to be done through MyMathLab Plus, except for the discussions. Okay, the next link is Grades, or the next tab is Grades. That's where you'll be able to check your grades for this class, and you'll be able to see everything you've earned up to the point where we haven't graded it yet. Okay, the next is Class List, and that's where you'll be able to send email through D2L to your classmates or to me. To do that, you just call up the class list, check the box of the person or people that you want to send an email to, then click the little tab that says Email, and then you'll be able to send an email. As far as receiving emails, that's on the top gray bar. You'll see an icon that looks like an open envelope. That's where you'll be able to check your email through D2L. All right, back to the gray bar we were talking about. The next three tabs are Tools, Resources, and Help. You can simply look through those and use them as you need. There's just a series of different things for you in there. And then the last button that I have is Edit Course. You might not have that one, so we're not going to worry about that one. The next thing I wanted to point out is the MyMathLab Plus button, which is on the left of your screen. If you notice, I have a big red arrow pointing to the left, pointing to that MyMathLab Plus button. That's where you're going to get access to the MyMathLab Plus section of this course. So let's look at that so you know how to maneuver that one. This is the MyMathLab Plus homepage, and this homepage is never going to change because I'm not doing any announcements in here. Okay, again, I'm going to have more buttons than you do, so I've highlighted the ones that you will see. And you'll have Course Home all the way down through Support, but we'll talk about those in just a minute as we walk through the MyMathLab Plus. All right, right under Course Home, we've got Homework, and if you click on that, this is what you're going to get for this first week. Okay, I've got the graded homework there, and I've also got a non-graded homework assignment on there for us to complete. Okay, the first one is the Discovery Tour, and then if you notice in parentheses, I put that that's graded. Okay, this is the assignment that you must complete by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Otherwise, you're going to be dropped as a no-show. So make sure you've gotten onto D2L, you've gone into MyMathLab Plus, you've gotten registered, and you have completed that homework. I believe there's about 10 questions on there to do. They're about using the computer and also some management questions we need to answer for this class that will be on there. But please make sure you get that done. That lets me know that you're committed and you can able to fully access this class. So I'll just leave it at that. Okay, the next one is Extra Practice to be ready for Math 055. That one is not graded. That's for your benefit. If you feel like you need to brush up on some of the prerequisite skills, you can have it. And if you notice, that one's not even going to close till December 12th. So I'll leave that one up throughout the duration of the semester so you can use it whenever you need it. Okay, then we also have sections 5.1 through 5.5. Again, those are all graded, and those will all be due at the end of this week. Okay, the next section, oh, I'm sorry. No, I opened up a homework section because I wanted to talk about that. This is an actual homework section. This is section 5.1, and this is question number 2. By the way, your question number 2 may look different from mine because this program pulls from a pool of questions. Okay, what I wanted to point out to you is the circles on the top are what's going to help you maneuver through the homework. So you can jump back and forth and go through the problems. I have highlighted question number 2 because that's the one that I have working on here. And that's how you work through with the circles and the arrows to go back and forth through the homework assignment while you get it completed. To the left of the homework box is a template. So if you never ever need to write something in math print, you can use that template. If you have to do square roots or fractions or absolute value, anything like that, it's all available to you there. Down at the bottom of your screen, there are some unhighlighted buttons which are Clear All and Check Answer. You'll use those when you're working through the homework. They're pretty self-explanatory. And then there's also a Save button to save your work. Now you are welcome to go in and out of the homework assignments. You don't have to finish a homework assignment at one sitting, but you do have to finish it by the deadline or you won't be able to work on it anymore. Okay, to the right of the homework box are a series of ovals. Most of them are pretty self-explanatory. Help me solve this, view an example, look at a video for the section, look at the textbook. But the one I wanted to talk about is the Ask My Instructor button. If you have a question on a specific problem, you can click on that button. It will send me the email through my PPCC account. Not only will you be able to give me a message though, but I'll actually be able to call up the problem that you want me to look at so that I can give you more adequate help working through that problem. If you use this option, the email will be sent back to your student account through PPCC. It will not go to D2L, so I wanted to make sure that you understand that. These emails go back to your student account through PPCC. Okay, the last button there is Print. Not every homework problem has all of these icons on it, but these are available for you. Okay, the next thing I have are the quizzes and tests, and if you notice there's 2 sections here. On the top section it says all quizzes and tests. This is where your graded tests will be put. So I do have a quiz there, but that's not graded for you. It says, Am I ready for Math 055? Not graded. If you want to know how well prepared you are for this class, you're welcome to take that quiz, but it's for your benefit. I won't be grading it. Graded tests will also appear though in that top section. Okay, down below that are sample tests and quizzes. None of that is graded. You can use it at will. Use it as much as you want or as little as you want, but I won't be grading at any of those and I won't be looking at any of those. They're just for your benefit. Okay, the next thing we have is the multimedia library, and there are 2 specific features I wanted to highlight from this. Now what I did in here is I went to chapter and I selected chapter 5, and then I went to section and selected section 5.1. After that I selected the multimedia textbook and the section video lectures, and then I clicked Find Now. Okay, what that did on the left side of the screen under the blue box, it brought up the multimedia textbook for that section, and that's basically your textbook in an ebook format. So if you wanted to see the textbook, there it is. Okay, over on the right are the section video lectures, and if you notice there's a series of them, but the very first video lecture that's 14 minutes and 8 seconds long contains the entire section video. So if you wanted to get an overview of the entire section, that's what you want. All the videos below that are just that big video broken up into pieces. Okay, this way you can get a lecture for every single section you're working on, and so you can see how things are done. So even though this is an online class, you do have an availability to get a lecture for each section. Those lectures are not done by me, they're done by the people at Pearson who make this product. Okay, the other things are just items that you can use them as much or as little as you want. The chapter contents are just that, they go through over the chapter, things you need for the chapters. Study skills, look at specific study skills like how to take notes, how to take a test, things like that. The study plan works through problems in this book, and it helps you identify some of your strengths and weaknesses. Again, it's tailored to you, but it's up to you how much you're going to use that. Students' Solutions Manual contains worked out solutions to the odd problems in the textbook, if you want to use that. Tools for Success are just basic underlying foundational tools that will help you succeed. Math Reading Connections give you specific tips on how to read mathematics so that you can be more successful with the reading aspect of this class. And Support is technical support from Pearson for your program. By the way, I do want to mention that browsers change all the time. It appears right now that you cannot use Google Chrome to get into MyMathLab Plus. You can use Firefox, you can use Internet Explorer, and if you use a Mac, I'm not sure which ones you can use, but if you can't find it, you can go to tech support and they'll help you figure out what you need to use to access the program. Okay, back to the D2L portion of our class, two more things I wanted to point out to you. The first thing is that the announcement there in the middle. This is our introduction announcement for the first week. After that, though, I'll be putting an announcement up every week so you can check them on Monday morning. And it will tell you anything that we need for the class that week, and it will also give you a to-do list so you can make sure you're staying on track for everything that needs to happen that week. Okay, the last thing I wanted to highlight for you is the little red frame at the bottom. That highlights some of the documents that you want to print. Those are all resource documents, so you probably want to print all of those and keep them in a safe place because you're going to be referring to them all through the semester. We have the course schedule, which tells you when things are coming. That one's going to be very important for proctored exams. You need to know ahead of time so that you can work your way into the college during that week to get those tests taken. Then we've got the syllabus. Those are policies specific to this class. Grading policies, attendance policies, test-taking policies, things like that. Okay, then we've got the Discovery Tour document. You want to print that because it will remind you where everything is that I just went over in this video, and also walk you through the other things you need to do to complete the Discovery Tour up through and including the homework assignment. Okay, then we've got the Math Resource Guide, which gives you tips on where to find help with the Math Lab or Learning Assistance Center or testing centers, when their hours are, and things like that. Then there's the CPM Syllabus Addendum, which is school-wide policies. So if you ever actually come to the school building, these are the policies that you're going to have to adhere to while you're here. And then the last thing is the Math 055 Welcome Letter. Most all of you received that letter last week if you checked your PPCC email. But if for some reason you didn't get it or you didn't open it, there's another copy there for your benefit. I think this is going to be a great semester. Please let me know if there's anything you need that I can help you with, and I look forward to working with you this semester. Take care.